The Blue Maverick, Tommy Effort, snorting horse. Justin Hurst with his 9600. Mark Lawson with an 8600. Jared Stoner who salvaged this too. We have 5 Fords in a row coming out here, and it'll get finished up with Jake Jones' case. Let's see how Dan does on Kendra Henry's Blue Maverick. RPM's coming up. We're going to find out in a minute. Tommy Effort is dropping to the bottom of the class. I guess his sport's giving him trouble. So we'll go with Justin Hurst up next. His dad's walking out there on the sideline. That's Jan the man from Marion. And here comes his son with a sharp-looking 9600 that they put together last year for this hot farm class. Just got it done in time to take it to Keystone Nationals with the extended pipe on the bracket on the roll bar on account of the smoke machine, and last I saw it, they were making wheelie bars for it, what have you, and did pretty well up there for the first time. His helmet's going on, and if you look at 9600, which superseded the Ford 9000 back in about 74 or 5 time frame, you'll like this one from Chambersburg. Justin Hurst from Chambersburg, the rookie of the class. Folks, it was pretty cool gear and he ran out, didn't do anything wrong. They just says that's all there is, there ain't no more. He stops at shooting 137. Looks like everything's good to go now. Tough time getting out of the hole. We'll see where he stopped. As long as they think he got out of the throttle by the 75-foot mark, he goes past. But LT is going to tell us how far he went, and the officials are going to tell him if he can try it again or not. 95.6 on that first attempt. So did he coast, or did he try to save it and hurt himself? They're going to back him up, let him try it again. That's good. He's a long ways from home. We want to see him have fun and do well. A Chip out there hooking for us again tonight. Appreciate his help. He goes with the Terminator quite a bit. And he's making sure Marcus is staying nice and straight there. It's hard for him to see with the helmet on and cinched on that seat. Pretty tough to turn around. So he's going to take everybody's word for it, but he's good to go. He's going to pull up and take that chain and try it again. Everybody gets 2 attempts, whether it's truck or tractor. Clutch is hot already, grinding her into gear, and you see it pulling up, tightening the chain, so better luck this time. He's still having some difficulty, and it looks like he shut her down. Might have to unhook it, let him drop, but they're giving her another shot at ether. Let's see if we can get some smoke out of that pipe. There we go. He's probably a little nerved up now. I hope it goes well for him. inside run, right on the left sideline. And it's snuffing on him, so he's going to back up and bring it out a little harder on the second attempt. Don't forget about the carnival from June 13th through the 21st. Check out their website. It's on Facebook. There's all kinds of free entertainment here that week. The Fallen Alto Volunteer Firemen's Carnival, June 13th through the 21st. Gun Bash tickets on sale over here at the Easy Up. And Gun Bash is here on 9/13. This thing will be spinning some RPMs this time. Watch this thing. And for a very short time, and unfortunately that's the second attempt. For last year's points champion, it's not starting out too good this year. That was a disappointing 31-1. How about a tough round of applause for Jared Stoner, folks? Jake Jones up next. We're looking at the case now. She's a 75, 6 or 7 model, something like that, being power white. It's called the In-Laws Outlaw. This is Jake Jones from Stanley, Virginia. And he only made it to about 2 events last year. Finished 11th in points. Kind of fresh then. I can have him up here tonight. 8 tractors in this class, 4 from Virginia. Oh, and I fixed that typo. So there's 5 from Virginia competing against the 3 Pennsylvania tractors. 1 red one in this case competing against the Fords. The green's out now for the In-Laws Outlaws. That track is getting good bite. They're losing RPM as soon as the clutch engages, so it's about the 3rd one that says, let me back up there. We're going to have to bring her out a little harder because it's really biting. Jake will be followed by Tommy Upper, which had to drop the last, and he's in line with the black hooded Ford. And then Hunter Shifflett coming back with the binder. Before we move into light limited turbo tractors. Bradley Wassler will be the first of 6 with his good looking 1466. Back to the case, and better luck this time for Jake Jones. Ready to come out. They'll be followed by the 11 small block mini rods. Bruce Robinson from New Jersey is going to be the first competitor in the 11 small block mini rod class. Looks like the sled's about mid-track, halfway between the white lines. See how that goes. For Tommy Everett. And the snort, of course. Come on, after him, fans. It is right on the go. the 1466. That was running real well and got out there to 300 feet and snuffed. Just quit like right now, and here's something happened. His kill cable got tied up and pulled by mistake, so they're going to let him try it again. And I'm sure that pleases him. Alright, smooth track. For the final one in this 11,000 watt farm class. The green on the way for Hunter Shifflett's family hooker from Ruckersville, Virginia. That's actually going to be Phil. And I'll be with you as soon as I do a little more scratching. Okay. First guy out is our winner, Austin Stoner, who was salvaged after hours, went 3:12 even. Second place, Tommy Upper, Snort Horse, at 3:10.34. Third place, going to Kendra Henry's Blue Maverick Ford, with Dad doing the driving tonight and going 3:08.99. Fourth place, Mark Lawson's Ford at 3:04.29. Fifth, Hunter Shifflett's family hooker that just went 3:04.05. Sixth place, Justin Hurst in the Ford at 2:81.37. Seventh place, Jake Jones and the in-laws outlaw case at 2:79.39. And eighth place to Jared Stoner on salvage for this too at 31.1. Going to change sleds. Neat how this new machine reacts to some 7,700-pound light limited turbo tractors in front of it. Richard Love is bringing out his new machine, and it'll be followed by his little machine for the mini rock class. All right, look at that new weight transfer machine. Home base for the decision maker sleds is Scottdale, Pennsylvania, about 30 miles southwest, I believe, of Pittsburgh. So it's a long ways from home. We've got to put a fanny flag up on the roof for the laser to spot on it, and then we'll be ready for some light limited turbos. I'm sure it's Deutz diesel power. I was going for Deutz diesel power due to big six-cylinder having plenty of power, but also big air cooled. So the engine's sitting in there sideways. Inside this left rear side panel, hooked to a Allison automatic on the back rear to take it back to the starting line. Then there's a manual transmission hooked to the front rear, which in turn drives a differential that Chip is kind of looking right out there behind the sled pan, and that winds the weight box forward. Our first guy here tonight in the light limited, and the first one in front of this new sled is going to be Bradley Wassler. If you're a Red fan, you're going to like this. It's a 1466. That looks twice as good as it did when it was new. It's called Whistling Red. This light limited class was born in Shippensburg with the Interstate Truck and Tractor Pullers only a couple years after I started announcing, so it's been around for a while. And it was going to be a budget class at first, but that went out the window, because now we can run 480 cubic inches, a 3.4 smooth bore intake on the turbo, and 4-inch on the outside, or exhaust side. And they allow P pumps now. 7,700 pound, 24.5-inch wide double cut tires on the back. It looks like a Mod turbo, it's just a little lighter and a little smaller motor. But they're going to make probably 1,800. They might be getting close to 2,000 horsepower in this class now. 19 registered for points last year, and about 8 of them really got at it. Jason Weichel with Unleashed was our points champion, and he's not here tonight with his smoker, but Bradley Wassler is. Mark Smith is with the Ford. Dave with his blue one. Chris Lutman with the Okie Harvester, Cody Anderson with that satin black 1066, and Ryan Lutman seeing red liner. 6 of them. Gonna blow some smoke, and then it'll get noisy with 11 mini rods. Oh, we're gonna put them out there side by side because they don't think I'm working hard enough. That's it. That's one thing about Mont Alto, a nice wide track, and we'll get it done. We'll do 2 at a time. Bruce Robinson is going to be the first of 11 in the small block mini rod class, weighing in at 1,900 pounds. That's 415 cubic inches or smaller on naturally aspirated engine. To work a little harder, small block mini rod class has sponsors: Coldsmith Construction Company, general excavation and site work, utility installation, basement and footer excavating, grading, installation of septic systems. Coldsmith Construction Company of Shifflett. First on that list. So I believe the mini rod's going to go first. Isn't that a cute little sled? Looks like you sprayed something on the big one, shrunk it, like half scale. And where the big one's 6-cylinder Deutz power, the little one's 3-cylinder Deutz power. So that little baby will be buzzing when it goes back to the starting line. He's already saying, no, that's not very good. I want to come back and do that again. If he had the RPMs, if he'd have had traction meeting the RPMs, he'd be going through Leitersburg. Go lighter up. Try that again. That was 237 even, not that it matters. He'll be coming back once they change the sled. Give it a little time to cool down. Adam Brown will be the next guy out there. Bradley Wassler going to be the first guy in front of that big sled. Looks like the guys are finished up and getting in the office and ready to put that thing to work. One of 3 red ones, making 4 red ones into class, competing against 2 blue ones. Dragging the sled a little bit over to the right side. Talking it over with Brian Ray with finish flagging. Seeing the sled is set. And he's coming back. Okay, thank you, sir. The blue guy, Chicken Man, is up next. They're taking weight out of the small sled, making it easier to drag with the help of that New Holland skid steer. So where the big weights are 2,000 pound, I believe they're 1,000 pound in this one. Let's see how big it is. Everything's like half scale. He's going to get him out of the way. Wish I could lose weight that fast. Now we'll be good to go for Adam Brown with the Oliver Express out of Biglerville. He'll be up next in the mini rod class. Thanks to Grinders Racing Engines. This is all custom built sheet metal, mostly all aluminum. So it's a 9600, but it's a little bit longer, wider, meaner looking, all custom made. And hit a home run out of the park. And he will make a blue fan out of you. He's vying for those Samico bonus bucks here tonight. He's got the Samico stickers showing proudly on the front. Samico offers higher quality, less wear, and longer engine life with their lubricants. Doesn't have a name, just that good-looking Ford 9600 from Shippensburg. on your 40th birthday. So, you better back her off a notch and get busy here tonight. He's the vice president here of the Monaville Volunteer Fire Department. Happy birthday to Michael Gardner. Okay, strapping in, getting tight, nice. Making sure the water's going to come on to keep from melting the pistons, and the RPM's going to be coming up shortly. It's Ryan Lutman and Bradley Wassler coming back with his whistling red that went 304 and he turned it down. That would have him in the number 4 spot right now. So he didn't get much way and hoping to do better when he comes back to finish up the class. 2 to go in front of the big sled. And get those bay rods going. And then these light limiteds will be followed by 4,500-pound trucks. So we have small block and big block bay rods to run with them. And modified tractors, and then a mini open class and farm stock. Weighing in at 9,500. Ryan Smith owns that, the big Ford. He's hoping he keeps it. Bradley Foster's backing in with whistling red, and he's hoping to drive past that coming. So we'll find out in a minute. Operation Blue New Holland 302.6 and 6. Ryan Lutman with C in red at 296.69. Give me a minute to write all that down and I'll be right with you, and we'll be back with mini rods, 11 up into the small block class. This is small block class. Engine has to be 415 cubic inches or less, and of course they're naturally aspirated, but we will see some blown mini rods here tonight, running in that open class later on. Adam did run for points last year. Small block Chevy power plant. Got this eco sticker right out front. See how it goes for him. Chevrolet power, Justin Freed on the Rattler. And once again, last year's small block mini rod points champion. I looked at this one earlier, and I believe it's small block Chevy power. We'll find out here in a minute. Make sure that sugar's sitting in the back. Ray McCracken from Newcastle. Successful automotive engine in history. 350 Chevy. Revved up, but not getting any traction. I had to quit on him. I don't know if it's going to refire or not. We might want to get a tow vehicle. Here comes one. 16707 for wildfire. A little disappointing, but at least nothing's hanging out of it. 167.07. I thought that tow vehicle was coming our way, but it's going into the pit area. We need a tow vehicle for wildfire, if you would, guys. The small block Chevy is now going to fire back up. It is hot. Looks like they might be debating on putting modifieds in front of that big sled. I'll get a text on that here shortly, and I'll let you know what they say. Big thanks to Quincy and Wayne Castle Self-Storages for their sponsorship. Green's out now for the Dirt Demon. Outrun by 4.9 feet. Go back Ray McCracken into the number 2 spot. Adam Brown on the 3rd, and Justin Freed on 4th. Mods next. According to Darren Allison, thank you, sir. Gonna run the modified class next. I better dig out some paper. Switching it up a bit. The bypass says 4,500-pound trucks. Maybe they'll be lucky enough to get through on that low sled. They'll love that. Modifieds are here tonight in full force for 10 in the class. And the homeboy, Nelson Egoff, is going to be the first competitor with the Tinker toy from right up the road. Blown Hemi power. You're going to like that. There goes the tow vehicle. Get the Chevy or the Jimmy out of the way. Get the modifieds in here. It's gonna get noisy, folks. Believe me, between 7,800-pound modifieds with up to 575 cubic inches of blower motors or 1,100 combined cubic inches from twin engines and the mini rods, people from 5 miles away are gonna be able to hear what we're doing. Listen to that Hemi. Carolina that's close to home and finished sixth in points last year. I believe it's about a 940 cubic inch blown heavy. Get ready to hold your ears. It'd be wonderful if they were way out here on the hometown track. track is wet, but the small tires don't help either. He's gonna need a tow vehicle. And the thing sounds good. Fresh out of the shop. Anxious to see what it would do. 121.97 is the distance for Joe. When that sled goes back and parks, I think it's gonna get pretty noisy. With the phony farmer getting ready to fire up. Tim Robinson. He'll be followed by Amber Blizzard. And that girl is a two-time Mod Points champion. Heads out there to help Amber get back that nice and straight and see if she's still got the touch from a few years back when she was sports champion. I'm sure it'll come back to her very quickly. Amber Blizzard with barely affordable from Mount Airy, Maryland. And on this side, next in the mini-rod class will be Robbie O'Donnell with Constant Chaos. He will be getting ready. Very nice. Well, that's tough luck for Robbie. Not short on RPMs, but definitely not getting to play on the track, and the engine's good and hot. Now we need a tow vehicle, if you would. Here comes Josh at the big 9, and it's 174.2 feet. On some chaos. A little disappointing for him. Back over to the modified class. Don Haley with Track Fever from Winchester is up next. Here comes the firehouse of the tractor. From Winchester, Virginia. What's your interest for this one, man? So let's see if he can get out past that orange cone. That puts him number 2 since we got restarted of the 4 that have come out. 226.49. Second place of the 4 with 7 remaining. Jason Michael up next with Untamed from Upper Strasburg. That has twin big block Ford engines on it, and it is a tough tractor. You know, he cleared out last year in points. He was the points champion in the modified class last year. So if you're a Ford fan, I'm sure you're going to like the next modified. Getting in front of the big sled. Lots of Empire blue Ford paint on that one, with a stair step set up and big block Ford engines that are naturally aspirated due to 2 of them sitting on there. Untamed, you may remember a few years back when it was called Sparky. This will be the 4th of 10 modifieds here tonight. his first puller of 11 in the class, he went 237 feet even and turned it down. Then we ran 6 tractors before the rain, so we're starting over. This is the 5th one now on the restart with 6 remaining. 1,900 pounds small ball mini rods. We still have big block mini rods to run. And 4,500 pound trucks. 9,500 farm stocks. And an open class of mini rods. And he got us almost to the halfway point of that small log class. And taking us to the halfway point of the modified class is Ryan Harnett up next with the agitator from Jamestown, PA. He's going to make a bunch of noise. Should be green, if I'm not mistaken. Finished 9th in points last year. Ron and Rod Harnett with their modified tractors. There's that big green agitator tractor with twin engines on it and a stair step set up. That means one shaft's going underneath the other engine. 2 input shafts to a gearbox. One coming out of the gearbox into probably a 3-speed, maybe only a 1-speed gearbox. Some modified tractors only have 1 gear forward, some have up to 3. All right, Ryan Harnett and the agitator. Thus far, 1.4 speed behind Tim Robinson's Phony Farmer. 5 down and 5 to go in the modified class. Back to the mini rod class. Adam Brown for the Oliver Express. reliable. Dave Shockey Autobody always helps this guy out, and he's helping us out tonight, too. This one always rides on Shockey's rollback. Shockey's always a sponsor here. Dave Shockey Autobody. If you're local, say he's at Tink Ridge. That's between Zellinger and Waynesboro. Thanks to Franklin Tractor and Equipment. That's your Kubota dealer, located along 81 in Chambersburg. And thanks to Martin's Potato Rolls. They're world famous. Made right up the road in Chambersburg. Okay, Chevrolet fans. Home Reliable doing working its way down through here. Well, I was going to turn the headlights on, but it doesn't have any. Battler. Reminds me that you can tell the temperature's warming up. I saw a couple dead snakes on the road today. They're out now. Don't want to run into too many rattlesnakes, so. Let's see if this guy can get on front. He was last year's points champion. He was going to it last year. He wanted to get out front. Girl power. Here we go, fans. It's called Tony 2. Kirsty from Scotland. Tractor sporting a blown Hemi. Tough tractor. Okay, Henry fans, Tony 2. About ready to have at it. at that last bounce. How about a tough luck round of applause for him, fans? 225.82. This the distance. And here comes Josh to drag him out. 225.82. Puts him in the number 6 spot. Back to the modified class, be Rick Blizzard. We saw his daughter Amber out here. She went 266.83, and that's holding the number 4 spot right now. Here comes Dad with Auditorial, another twin Ford powered tractor out of Mount Airy, Maryland, and it's definitely tough. See how he did last year. No slouch, that's for sure. Here comes Rick Blizzard. And he has the advantage of knowing how he had set up his daughter's tractor, and it's holding the number 4 spot. And he's been watching up the shore. Let's see if this guy's got a strategy worked out that he might take over. We'll find out in a moment. Leading distance is 283, and he's got his eye on that up shore. Driving Wildfire. We're used to seeing that guy on a smoker tractor. Shane Scott's going to drive Wildfire from Newville. All these points classes eligible for bonus bucks for the top 2 finishers. First and second place get bonus bucks from Sepico Lubricants and our local rep Darrell Lehman from Waynesboro. If they're a customer, then sporting those yellow stickers. Had to feather it out of the hole and didn't get up to speed to go too far. Hopefully nothing's terribly wrong with Wildfire. Stops at 180.75 feet. Takes over the number 7 spot. Out of 9 with 2 remaining. Matt Weishart and Tim Ragg. Back to the modified class. Andy Forrester. Driving Nonsense. He drove it a lot last year. And did very well with it. He'll be in Craigsville, Virginia next weekend with the modified here and his 2-wheel truck. Both of those classes from Interstate. Born in Craigsville at Drive-In Motorsports in Goshen, Virginia. 6th in points last year. Nelson Eagle. Hemi Power.
Track paper.
Okay. I see. Huh?
Something broke. You hear it? How about a tough luck round of applause for Nelson Eagle? Now what do you have in mind? Darn. 222.72 for Tinker Toy. And that puts him in the back of the pack, unfortunately. The winner of the class, Don Haley on Track Fever at 283.05. Second, Tom Kennedy on Old Reliable at 277.41. Third place going to Jason Weichels on Tame Ford at 276.26. Fourth, Amber Blizzard's Barely Affordable at 266.83. Rick Blizzard following her with Unaffordable at 265.86. Sixth place to Andy Forster on Nonsense at 258.39. Seventh, Kirsty Robinson with Tony 2 at 256.95. Eighth, Tim Robinson with Tony Farmer at 231.55. Ninth place, Ryan Harnet's Agitator at 230.17. And 10th, Nelson Eagle and Tinker Toy at 222.72. Scratch those down. I'll be with you in a minute. One. Tim Ray out there yet? Looking for Tim Ray to get in front of that little sled to finish up the small block mini rod class. Right, he made her out there to finish up this class. Tim Ray on Wicked Sensation from Slippery Rock. And Big Block Main Rods get ready. Rob Wise, Steve O'Brien, and Stephen Weir be the first three. 4,500-pound trucks get ready. Jared Stoner, Sam Hassler, and Chris Hutze be the first three of 11 modified four-wheel drive trucks. There are 10 Big Block Main Rods. Big Block Mini Rod, limited to 2,050 pounds and up to 500 cubic inches. So they can be 416 to 500 cubes. And we call them big block. And you may say, well, what if you build a 430 cubic inch small block Chevy? He could run in this class. We call them big blocks, but they don't have to be a big block. They're just bigger cubes. Anywhere from 416 to 500. They have to be naturally aspirated. We'll run some blower mini rods here later. 10 of them in the class, Rob Wise with long shots, big block Chevy car out of Greensburg. Boy, it's tough. Terminator is back out there. Darren Allison's sled for the 4,500 pound trucks. Jared Stoner is going to be the first one in that class of 11.
I tell you, Miss Molly. Kristen's left.
415 cubic inch limit in that class with alcohol carburetors. 4,500 pound weight limit.
Oh, it's not me. I'm just standing here. My legs closed. So I don't get a target.
Rob Wise and long shot. Finished 7th in 1 years. Is going to turn that down. We'll find out in a minute. Fans, I forgot, or we messed up even with the rundown here. That's Joe Shaw coming back with an exhibition look. I believe it was 181 and change. That was exhibition only. And that's why I was confused there for a minute. I thought, boy, that's not a big block Chevy. And it's not burgundy. So that was Joe Shaw's Hornswaggle, which is at the bottom of this paper. But he came out at the beginning, I guess, because of the setting that they had for the small blocks. Now we'll go with Rob Wise, and you can hear the difference. This is big block, 8-1 Chevrolet power. Long shot from Greensburg. First of 10, so Rob Wise isn't completely satisfied. We'll bring him back at the end. Hopefully, 29864. See if anybody else can meet or beat it. Now we'll go over to the Terminator. He's ready. Jared Stoner, the Silverback, is the first of 11 in the 4,500 pound modified class. 79-4. That's not going to work very well, huh? They'll have to check some things out there. Obviously, he's not going to keep that. 124.16 feet. Back over here to the mini rods, be Steve O'Brien with Ripsaw from Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Can you believe that? That's a radical piece, isn't it? Ripsaw. Revving up to get that thing backed into the sled. Good. Let's see if it can live up to that sound by going on through here. 298.6 is the mark of meter beat. Chevrolet fans will be happy. We have 4 Chevys in a row coming in this truck class. Looks like Austin got back on the roller. Thanks to him and Caleb Kiefer for being our roller operators here tonight. Now we'll go green with the junkyard dog. That truck class is having a tough time on that right side, so you're going to have to give that sled crew some time. They'll probably go out there and figure out how to lift in the pan or something. I don't know what's going to happen, but they'll figure it out. 108.95 for Sam Hassler. I'm sure you're going to see both those trucks back. I'll keep you posted. The third mini rod in the class of 10 big blocks is Stephen Winger. Shiny red thing will be proudly sporting those Syndico stickers. They stand out on this thing, no doubt about it. He likes to take their old layman's bonus bucks. That last one made an impressive pass at 323.2. Let's see if Pitbull can get out there with Ripsaw. To hurry you up and move 9,500-pound tractors over to the right side of the track in front of the Terminator to turn that track up. Justin Hurst, we need you as soon as possible in front of that sled. Hunter Gaiman, Josh Anderson, and Luke Jones. 9,500 farm stock, line up as soon as you can. We're in there. side of the track. Justin Hurst, Hunter Gaiman, Josh Anderson, Luke Jones, Scott Cascade, and Parker Wright. Michael Leatherman and Josh Anderson again. That'll get us down to the halfway point. There's about 18 in that class. Let's see, 17 of them. We're going to run 95 farm stock due to those wet conditions over there. And short beats going home if it would have kept raining. So 95 farm stock. We'll come back to the 4,500 pound class a little later. 95 farm as soon as you can. Justin Hurst, you can come out first. We'd sure appreciate it. You're first on the list. If somebody gets out of order, it's not going to be the end of it. But they do have a lineup sheet down there, and they do a great job. So don't believe that'll be a problem. But sorry to spring it on you so fast, but faster you get out there, the more we can keep it going. In the meantime, we'll get another mini rod. And that'll be Jeff Paulding with the Wonky Donkey from Piles Grove, New Jersey. I believe they brought two of them in tonight. I'm going to run one in the blown open class later. In case you guys were sleeping or over there getting something to eat, 9,500 pound farm stock. You are up now in front of the Terminator, right side of the track. They're changing the weight on the Terminator, and Justin Hurst is on the way with his Farmall 400. He just drove off the scale, so good for those guys. At a last minute notice. And we have 17 farm stocks getting in front of the Terminator. Justin Hurst is first with his 400 from Chambersburg. Back to this mini rod class, Denny Martin with Against All Odds. Out of Chambersburg, it's big farm power. Looking for that burgundy one. He's going to keep that or not. You got it? 2 thumbs up. All right, we're off and underway. That didn't take long. 214.77 feet for Justin Hurst. 214.77. And Hunter Gaiman coming to the sled for the Ford. It says 8,000. I believe that's looks like a 5. Or a 5085. Doesn't matter. It's a Ford. From the Forster Ford team. This is a tough old tractor here. You can tell it was built in England. Headlights are inside the bottom of the grill. And he's off and running. I'd say he's only going a couple mile an hour, but there is an 8-mile-an-hour speed limit. Good job, Squirrel. Let's see where he stops. Think he might be out front already. 227.54. Puts him out front by 13 feet. Good for him. Josh Anderson up next. He's our tow tractor guy here tonight. In the meantime, let's get pushed out there. Little sled. Oh boy. Thank you, Corey. That's a good layout. Corey Forster sent me text of the Forster stock pulling team. He's the captain. Squirrel's the driver. Laney's the driver. And Mick Sorley is driver. 3 drivers under Captain Corey. We're going to go with the Mopar powered mini rod called Against All Odds. Mopar. That acronym was coined, I believe, in 1937, when Chrysler realized that the auto parts business was going to do well, and they better get into it with factory auto parts and not let some aftermarket take over. So they made their own parts counter business that we're all so used to now. And they said, what are we going to call it? And they came up with the acronym MOPAR, but it stood for Motor Parts for Chrysler cars. Josh Anderson's 560 going to get a green flag here shortly. Diesel power, they were available in gas, diesel, or propane. feet for Josh Anderson. Back to Mini Rod, Denny Winger with the big block Chevy powered machine from Chambersburg. Chevrolet power. For all you bow tie fans. History for John Deere. First full year was, 62? 61? First full year was 61. 381 cubic inch back then. 6-cylinder diesel for John Deere. This was all making history. 8-speed synchro range transmission. Planetary rear end. That was all new for John Deere. And John Deere's going to get a green flag. Here we go. Luke Jones from Waynesboro. He's having fun, but the old 4010 isn't. I believe that was third gear, and he said, I'm done. Can't pull that thing any further. 181.14 for Luke. Back to Mini Rods with Heather Sutton on the Polar Bear Express from Fayetteville. Finished 5th in points last year. With 3 to go in the Mini Rod class. Odd Kiss Cat, Mr. Bleeding Blue is up next with a 7610 Ford. That's a 4-cylinder with a turbo. Good old tractor. I don't know if that's one from their stable or if that might be Mike Winger's, but it's a 7610 that's probably got a dual power in it that he can stomp on the pedal and downshift if need be. He'll be followed by Parker Wright with Michael Leatherman. Roy Snyder will be up next in the Mini Rod class with 3 to go. Now we'll go with 4,500-pound trucks, so we have an open mini rod class.
Yeah, I know. I got a 90-degree wheeler. But you have something else to drive. Right? Yeah. That's a yeah. You don't take your primary license. I thought that before.
181.57 for Scott Kiskett. That's a little short of where he wanted to be on. Nobody hurt. Roy Snyder up next with the Rat Rod from Gettysburg. A dozen remaining in the farm stock class. Parker Wright should be up next. Yes. He's on a big old 1070 case with a tricycle front end and 451 six-cylinder. Parker's like me, likes all kinds of tractors. I've seen this guy on an International or a John Deere, and tonight he's on a case. They have some of everything. Stops at 2:59.41. And that excellent driving just put him out front. 2:59.41 makes him our new leader and backs Hunter game up into the number 2 spot, which is 30 feet behind Parker. Back to the mini rod class. John Carbo up next with free ride. It's out of Biglerville. Finished 8th in points last year. He'll be followed by Matt Washar, and that'll wind it up. Now we'll be good to go. working for him. Pre-ride stops at 268.63 feet. And that will take over the number 7 spot. Remaining. Back to farm stop, Michael Leatherman with a John Deere 730 out of Hagerstown. .376 cubic inches, and boy, he's got this one tuned, and I believe he threw the governor away. Wait till you hear this old two-cylinder wind up. They were wound tight at 1,400 RPMs, and this one's going to be at probably 2,000. This baby revs up for a John Deere 200. Must have her on a pretty decent diet to get in the 9,500 pound class. All right, we're gonna go with that 9. Same as a 10, but no turbo. And the 9 went 30 feet further. And it is our new number 3 place tractor at 235.48. Saddleback Hunter gaming up the fourth. Where's that final mini rod? Still waiting on the dirt devil. I believe that's him firing up. Here's our final tractor in the big block mini rod class. The Dirt Devil is going to round it out for us. 1093. They're both a ways from home. Stephen Ware taking third with the pit bull with 309.42. In fourth place, going to Danny Ware at 298.83. Fifth place, Rob Wise with a long shot going 298.64. Sixth place, Danny Martin's against all odds at 289.61. And seventh, John Carball with free rod at 268.63. Eighth, Roy Snyder's rat rod at 266.01. Ninth, Matt Lashar's Dirt Devil at just went 263.62. And 10th place, Heather Sutton going to Polar Bear Express at 198.29. Coming with a Ford 8000 from T. Butts Ford team. I like this one. For Landon Jones. We saw his brother out here earlier, and Luke went 181.14 on the John Deere. Landon just went 213.63 on the 48,000. Tough old tractor. Belongs to Tim Butts. 213.63 puts it in the number 6 spot. Justin Hurst is 5th. That puts this one 6th to 1.1 feet behind the farm home. And that got us to the halfway point of that farm stock class. All the exhibitions are going to follow the farm stock class. Jeremy Leatherman up next with a 720. We'll see if it revs up like his brother 730 did. And that got it out front. The 730s are currently here at 261.7. Here comes Jeremy Leatherman with a 57 model 720 from Boonesboro, Maryland. He's a putting right out there too. LT's coming up with it. 203.6 feet for Jeremy Leatherman. Oh, they're going to put the trucks in there in front of that little sled. They're going to like that. So we have Jared Stoner back with the silverback Ford from Chambersburg to be the first of 11 in the 4,500-pound class. Running for some Pico bonus bucks. We have 11 of them in the class. We had 11 running for points last year. Those guys are all 100% members. That means that when you have their class, they show up. Jared Stoner finished second in points last year with a 79 Ford. Inside. Well, that was nice. How about it for him, folks? That whole sled's going to let him run with it. That's going to be exciting. Speed Marshman from Greencastle. All right. 17 tractors in this farm stock class, and 5 of these competitors are former students of mine. They're still having fun with tractors. Travis's 806 doing a good job for him. .98 feet. That's shuffling things up a bit. That will take over the number 3 spot. Away from Josh Anderson's 966. Thanks again to Edge Fiber and Wireless Development for their sponsorship. And thanks again to Hammer Down Customs. Front run for Sam Hassler's junkyard dog in the second mark. 10 more. Mark is 275.38 feet. Back to farm stock, Leroy Howell from Chambersburg. And he's on a John Deere 730 diesel. And a John Deere stopping at 175.79. Just got word that Jared Stoner will not be coming back in the truck class. He was first guy out, went 292.89. He is keeping that, so he is our leader. Sam Hassler came out for the second of the 11. And now we're going with the third, and that'll be Chris Hutze. One bad bow tie. Finished 7th place in points last year. But this class likes that little sled. That has to be a rush going that fast. He stops at 277.32 feet. That'll take her to the number 2 spot. Back to farm stock with 5 remaining. Brady Kaufman from right down the road on his farm all the way up. Will be up next. In American Recycling. Speaking of Brady Kaufman. Up there in the thick of things. Back to the truck class, Ryan Varner with the S10 from Spring Run called Mountain Maniac. 115 cubes is the limit in this class, 4,500 pound on 4150 carburetor. They can run alcohol, but limited on the size of the carb. Green is out now for that 92 S10 called Mountain. Making up for it tonight. 10.9 feet beyond our leader, Jared Stoner, taking over second with 4 down and 7 to go in the truck class and 4 to go in the farm stock class. Now it'll be followed by the exhibitions. And my first exhibition puller will be Laney Kiskaddy. Brad Reif, Hunter Rickard, a couple heathens in this class. Gary Morgenthau, another former student. 4 exhibition pullers, unless somebody else is in there that I haven't found a ticket for. 4 to go in the farm stock. Jason Wright will be up next. There he is, backing in. A sharp 720 diesel with all the options. Putting to a stop. At 182.26 feet. spot. Back to the truck class. Travis Udsey from Shippensburg, driving that red and black S10 called Stomper. Finished third in points last year. Well, that was a big time when these S10s came out. Before that, it was a Chevy Love. They finished in 81 and out in 82 with the S10s. They sold like hotcakes. This is first generation S10 from 82 to 94. Some people don't like them, but I think they're cool looking. And we call them muscle tractors now. That's the latest craze in the tractor world. Trying to get as good as he can before Andrew comes out with another one. Where's he at? 283. 280. 83. Just went way out front. He's out front by 19.1 feet. I'm sure this Ford will be flying. Got us to the halfway point of this class. Former champion truck. And CE signs and graphics from Waynesboro, and thanks again to Mike Ball's Garage from right up the road. Did you guys hear him on the radio? He said, Brian, I don't know how it can be, but that's exactly what I got. We're going to 2 decimal places, and those 2 trucks, back to back, just went the same exact distance within 100th of a foot, and they will have to come out and duke it out because I'm sure they won't want to split it. We'll see what happens here as the class goes on, but at this time, we have a tie for first. And Jared Stenner is going to third, Brian Varner backing up to fourth. And we have 5 to go. They both went 293.61. Stomper and analyze this. Hunter Gaiman up next. We saw him out here earlier with a Ford 5095. Now he's going to be on an 8000. Big old 401 6-cylinder. He's off and running with a tough-looking muscle tractor with that narrow front. He's got her in a pretty big gear. It's fogging up on him, and he's having a blast. Let's see where he stops. Let's see, he went 227 and 5 on the previous tractor. And this one, at 219.54. With one to go in the farm stock class, and that'll be Andrew Hope with a 1070 case. Back to the truck class, Tyler Shines. With the previous truck that just went out there at 293. I'm sure he's going to be letting this one eat. A fifth model. Brother Ben's our current leader with the 970. From Waynesboro. Obviously it'll go faster, but there's an 8 mile-an-hour speed limit, so he's being careful. He doesn't want to hear that horn blow. Snuffing. We'll get the distance, give you the rundown. There's 17. 258.2 for Andrew Hope. Going back to trucks. Bill Mills with the Bounty Hunter Ford Ranger from Williamsport, Maryland. Got a fresh set of tires on this thing. It ought to be able to get a good hook on this tractor. Started working on a rundown for this farm stock class. Our winner, Ben Hope, with the 970 case went 280.83. Second, Michael Leatherman with the 730 John Deere 261.7. Martin Wright gets third with his case at 259.41, and Andrew Hope gets fourth with his case at 258.2. Got a green for the Bounty Hunter. Here comes Laney Kiskett. How about him for her? She's been watching Macy and she said, now it's my turn. There she's 265.94. These are just exhibition hooks, 4 of them. People were having a blast though. Back to the exhibition class of 4. Number 2 one on the list is Brad Wright with a 48,000. His son's out here a while ago and I said they like all colors, and they have all colors.
Yeah, no, he never said anything yet. Damn.
It's actually a 9, I believe. I heard the turbo whistling on that thing. I like it. 269.28 for Brad Wright. 269.28, about 2 feet further than the previous one, 3 feet further than Laney Kiskett was for it. With the Army truck. Alright fans, now you know why I wanted to try exhibition, because he's got plenty of power, but he's got to figure out to the track without bouncing and breaking. Backed out of it a couple times, and then the motor comes right back to life. But I'm sure he'll get her down there. We'll see him again at 2 top or Shifflettsburg without a doubt. Where's he stopping? 178.77. Back to the 4,500-pound class with the final competitor is Denny Stoner with the Macon Tracks Ford from Chambersburg. If he doesn't, well, it doesn't matter if he does go out front. We have a tie right now between Travis Hootsie and Austin Stoner. We're going to have to work out. They both went 293.61, but Before that gets worked out, Denny Sterner coming out here with last year's points champion truck at Bullnose Ford. I believe it's an 80 model. First year for that Bullnose. Making tracks. First in points last year. Then we'll put 5 open mini rods in front of that little sled. And a nice pass, making tracks, brown sort of eco steers. Let's see what that happens. 28779. Take over the number 4 spot from Denny Shives. Army truck, Cummins Power. 6-wheel drive. Some of you have seen him do this before. It's fun. Isn't that a cool looking old brute? Can you imagine how rider roughs, or how rough it rides? You run over a stone, you'd probably feel it. And Stomper is back to be the first one in the pull-off. Travis Hudson from Shifflett. There we go, the green light for the final one in the truck class. We're going to run these 5 through here pretty fast, as fast as we can. John Graham is going to be the first at 5 in a 2050 open mini bug class that allows blowers. They allow blowers, they allow big bucks, anything's going to go here. He's from Salem, New Jersey. Travis Seiler, Tom Barrows, Robbie O'Donnell, and Dennis Martin. Had to wait till we get down here. I think it might be tunnel rammed and not blown. We'll find out. Open class, like I said earlier. Some will be and some won't be. Definitely a couple in here with superchargers. Now you can definitely hear a blower motor firing up. This is 370 cubic inch small block with a supercharger. Travis Seiler and Gopher broke the second of 5 in this open. Guys are definitely having an issue getting it moving. 120.84 for Travis. Don't know if they'll be resetting that or not, but they're having a very tough time with it. Fans, I'm not sure what the holdup is, but I hope they soon get going. It's 11:15. Alright, I'm told they're trying to get a starter to work. I got an idea. Let's go with the next tractor, Rob. Yeah. it's already there, on the spot. All right, let's see if Dennis Martin can come out. The 440 Mopar powered tractor we saw in the big block class. He jumped in here, this open class, to just have some fun. So I think he'll be up next. Well, anybody had the option to jump in here with these guys because of being an open class, so Dennis Martin with the against all odds big block mini decided to do so. At 440. Sounds good. We'll see how he does compared to these other ones. Not sure, fans, but the way the sled's parked back there, it looks like he might be packing it up. Yes, he is packing up, so we're all... Thank you. Starter problems for Tom, and unfortunately he can't come out. Thank you, sir. I feel bad for him. The other ones aren't coming back because they're hot. So we're done for this evening, fans. We appreciate your attendance. Be careful going home. The winner of that class is going to be Dennis Martin with that against all odds. Just went 291.62. Robbie O'Donnell went 266 even. Tom Barrows had starter trouble, unable to come out. And before the sled was reset, John Graham went 123 and 8, and Travis Seiler went 120.8. I believe they're both still hot. Don't blame them if they don't bring them back. Thanks again for your attendance here tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Be careful going home.